Hello and welcome to Proctor High School. This is our tour video for students that have never been to Proctor High School as we get ready to get back into hybrid in-person learning. So if you ride the bus or you're a student who drives to school and park in one of our lots, this is the main entrance that you'll come into, entrance number 1. And when you come in, you'll notice that the office is on the right. You do not have to go through the office if you're coming in at the very beginning of the school day. However, if you're coming in after the school day starts, then you probably should go through the office. But you'll notice this is my office in here as well. Mrs. Rands, Miss Weiler are in here to help you with anything that you need. And when you come out of the office in the main entrance, you are in the freshman hallway. This hallway includes our 9th grade lockers and kind of our music wing. So coming up here on your right will be our choir room. So those of you who have choir, it's kind of right near the main entrance to the school. And Miss Hartwick and her crew will be in there. You see the chairs socially distanced so that everything is safe in the choir room. Continue on down the hall, you'll notice our band room will be on your right here at the end of this hall. Mr. Westendorf and Mrs. Sandor will be your band directors, and the band room also, as you'll notice, will have lots of space for those students to be socially distanced as they go. So there you can see kind of our band room, how it's set up. Once you leave the band room, this is another entrance and exit for your safety. And if you went through those doors and to the left, you'd come to our fitness center. This is a kind of an evacuation door for our fitness center, but we're very proud to have St. Luke's here running our fitness center. And right next to the fitness center in the 9th grade hallway are also a couple doors for exits for our gym. So you can see our boys basketball team in there practicing. And again, these are our 9th grade lockers. We're not using lockers as we transition back to hybrid, but if we did, these would be 9th grade lockers. And as we come back, you'll notice we'll pass the main office again and the main entrance that you came in. And we'll also take a look at another door that goes into our gym. So again, our gym, we are proud of our facilities here at Proctor. Again, the main entrance that you would come in the morning. And as we come down the hall, we'll see one of our first classrooms that is non-music related. That's Mrs. Baseflute's classroom. She's a high school teacher. And now we go through these doors, and obviously you see there's a gate in these doors. Obviously those will be open for you when you come in. But just to the left of those doors, after you pass them, is Miss Anderson's office, our nurse. And then just past her room, in the nurse's office, is our counseling office, our guidance office suite. And the 2 doors there on the left are Mr. Voss and Mr. DeLacy. And then the 2 doors there are Miss LaPlante and Miss Jocks. And then our secretary in the guidance office sitting right there would be Kelly Smith. So our guidance office, our guidance department is there to support you in any way that they can. So feel free, and that door will be open during the school day. So that's where we came from. Now heading further down the hall, these are some of our 10th grade lockers that we would use if we were using lockers. And in the corner here, we have a couple different classrooms. On the left is Mr. LaFon Hudson's classroom. He teaches 8th grade. And to the right is Mr. Dennis's classroom. And if you have Mr. Dennis, that's where you would go. And basically, the first floor kind of revolves around our cafeteria. So the cafeteria is in the middle, and there are classrooms all around the cafeteria. So down this hall, we have some of our career and tech ed classes. So if you have culinary arts, if you have Mr. Martin for culinary arts, you would have this classroom right here, the culinary arts lab. And as you can see, it's a kind of cluttered, getting ready for students to return. A lot going on in the culinary lab every day. And as we exit the lab, we will go down the hall here to, again, the entrance to our cafeteria. And before we do that, actually, no, we will take a look at the cafeteria. This is the entrance that you would go into to enter to get your food at lunchtime. So this is the one that will be open, and it'll say enter here. And that's right across from the welding room, or the machine shop room. So as we go and come to a four-way hall intersection, you'll notice that the machine shop would be just to your left there. And here's our machine shop. Again, a lot going on in here. And again, as we exit that, to our left as you exit that would be our middle school. So that's kind of the hallway that connects the middle school to the high school. And if we continue straight ahead again, this is going to one of our breezeways, as we call it, that connects the new part to the old part of the school. And just to your left here, you'll see the wood shop with Mr. Parendo. So if you have wood shop, creative woods, or basic woodworking, or intro to construction, you'd be here for Mr. Parendo's class. Lots of wood. Just outside those windows is our saunas that we're building. So if you exit that room and head down the breezeway, you'll notice on the left is the elevator in case you need that. And coming through these doors, we'll get to the area that's kind of backstage in our auditorium. And there's two classrooms down here that you're going to want to be aware of. The first one is just to your left here in this hall is Mrs. Voss, who teaches French, and also Proctorian, which is our yearbook class. So Mrs. Voss classroom right here. Behind the stage. So she teaches French and again the yearbook production. So come out of her room and you'll notice these are some doors in the backstage area of our auditorium. So there's dressing rooms and the doors to the stage here. Obviously the lunch tables and things like that will be removed here and put into our field house for our lunches. But as of right now, they're being stored here. And come through these doors again, you'll notice on the right are some more dressing rooms and some backstage areas for our auditorium. And then this hallway right here is kind of the in between the auditorium and our swimming pool. This is another way that you can kind of get to Mr. Weeda's room and Miss Voss's room from the quarry tile area. And the pool locker rooms are just to the right, kind of behind these cafeteria tables. And at the end of this hall, many of you will probably have Mr. Weeda, who is one of our math teachers, and this is his classroom here. Again, things socially distanced, spread apart. So Mr. Weeda, who teaches intermediate algebra and I believe algebra 2. So if you have him, that's where his classroom would be. So that kind of wraps up our first floor tour. Now, let's take a look at some of the other parts of the first floor, starting again at the office. This is the main entrance again you would come into. And instead of going straight past the nurse's office and guidance, we're going to take a right. And again, that gate will be open during the day. And if we take a right here, we'll see again some more 10th grade lockers. To our left would be the cafeteria. Again, the cafeteria is in the middle of the first floor and everything wraps around it. Kind of across from the cafeteria by the bathrooms is a classroom. This is Mr. McNamee, who teaches middle school health. And then just near him would be the men's and women's bathroom. And again, this is the cafeteria exit. So as you're getting your lunch, you'll come out of the cafeteria on this side, and you'd follow kind of this path heading down to what we call the quarry tile. And this quarry tile area is kind of the main area for our events. So basketball, theater, volleyball, you see our concession stand there. And this is where we would have breakfast available in the morning. So if you're interested in having breakfast in the morning, you see our trophy cases. Again, this is where the community comes in and would see our school, either by going to the auditorium, which is to the left, or to the gym, which is to the right, or to the pool, which is down the stairs up here, as you'll see. But the girls' locker rooms are right here. And again, here's the auditorium and ticket booth area. And then down these stairs would be our pool. And again, these tables and things will be removed once you get here. But the swimming pool is down through those doors. We have both girls and boys swimming teams. Then again, here's the gymnasium from the other side from what I showed you earlier. This is kind of the main entrance to our gym. And again, our boys basketball team is practicing as we're filming this. And as you can see from our banners and such, we have lots of different activities and events and things that you can take part of here at Proctor High School. So we're very proud of that. So as we leave the gymnasium and go back out into the quarry tile area, the main area, we continue down the hall. You will notice there's a main entrance down here. Again, this is the main activities entrance, the boys' locker room right there to the right. But this is a nice big bright area where our community would access the school for our events. So as we go through the interior doors here, we go into kind of the field house or entrance number 5. And just to the left over here are some bathrooms that are used by fitness center people and referees and such like that. And as we go down this hall, take a right through after we go through that entrance, you'll notice our Hall of Fame that we have down there, recognizing those amazing people that have helped shape Proctor and Proctor Schools. To the left, you'll notice there's 3 doors. This is the field house, and this is where you'll be eating lunch. So as you get your lunch, you'll be coming down here and eating so we can spread out. Right across from the field house is our fitness center that's run by St. Luke's, and we're very fortunate to have St. Luke's and the fitness center helping us get strong and fit. After you eat lunch, you'll head down this hallway back to the band and choir hall and enter the building back again and make your way to class. And again, we are back kind of where we started in terms of the band and choir room and the main office and such. There's the gym again, the choir room to your left. So now we want to kind of, again, now start showing you the second floor. So we're going to start back in the main entrance where the office is. Again, the nurse's office is up here to our left again. To the right is the quarry tile area down that hall. Again, the gate will be open. But when we go up these stairs, which are kind of across from the nurse's office, right there, when we go up these stairs, we'll come to what we call the senior balcony. These lockers and things are where our seniors would have their lockers. And in the corner here is our biology teacher, along with our forensic science and genetics teacher. Miss Anderson has her classroom. So if you have Mrs. Anderson, Robin Anderson, this is where you would have class. As we come out here and head now just down the hall a little bit in the senior balcony, there's Mr. Kiefit's classroom, who teaches our AV production class and also some tech internship type classes for computer science. Through the senior balcony, we come down the hall again, and these lockers still are senior lockers in this hallway. And as we come to another classroom, this is Mr. Nathan Johnson's classroom, who teaches American History 9, along with Society and You, if you have that class. And next to his room, and this is kind of where we've come from, that's the senior balcony area down there. As you come a little further in the corner here is another biology science classroom and also physics. As if you have Mrs. Hughes or Mr. Hughes and Mr. Dennis for pre-engineering, this is where your classroom would be. So this is room S221. So now continuing on, you'll notice, again, that's where we came from, the senior balcony area. And now continuing down this hallway. A lot of these lockers in this hallway are junior lockers. But the first classroom, again, we come to here is Mr. Gilderman. If you have Mr. Gilderman for government or psychology or sociology or world geography, that's where you go, or Mr. Gunderson in 217. And again, these are junior lockers here. These tables will be removed. So if you're using lockers, that's where juniors would be. And again, the crossing, our crossing as we call it, is in the middle of the second floor, right above the cafeteria. And across from that, we have S215, which is Mrs. Clevey. She is our student success coordinator, runs our Pathways program. So that's where you can find her if you're interested in doing job shadows or internship type things in a career area you're interested in. Next to her is the middle school art room. And then right across from the hall from them is what we call our crossing. Our crossing is kind of our media center, our library, but over the years has kind of evolved into more of a learning space And so currently we're using this area as kind of our main intervention classrooms and our credit recovery area. So to the right over here will be Mrs. Cleary's classroom for credit recovery. So students will be in there trying to recover credits maybe they did not earn. And then these two classrooms here are for our interventions for math and reading, Mr. Bridges and Miss Sidursky. So as we exit the crossing, and again, the crossing is in the middle of the second floor, so classrooms are right around it. So as we continue down through the second floor, as we left the crossing, if you have Mr. Winterfeld for art, so ceramics, art, graphic design, things like that, this is where his classroom would be. So as you can see, his classroom, again, he's getting ready for students to come back, getting supplies ready. So out of Mr. Winterfeld's classroom, you'll notice is another stairwell that brings you to the second floor, right across from Mr. Winterfeld's classroom. And so that if you went down those stairs, you would arrive just outside the machine shop area. So again, another way to get to the second floor. We're very proud of our Rise painting done by Greg Deal last year as a community project. As you continue on, you'll get to a four-way intersection between hallways. Right in the corner here, you'll want to know this is where Mr. Fitzsimmons' office is. He's our tech director. He will be the one that you go to if you have issues with your Chromebook and so on. So Mr. Fitzsimmons is right there, his office. And then down this hallway will be the middle school again, kind of access to the middle school. These lockers here are for 7th and 8th grade. Now, continuing down this hall, here's some more lockers that might be senior lockers. We come to, at the end of this hall, would be our print shop. Mr. Misgin runs a print shop as part of our graphic design program. So our print shop is right here. And across from the print shop is another one of our classrooms. Ms. Pleva is one of our high school teachers. If you have Ms. Pleva as a teacher, that's where her room would be. And then just to the left over here would be Miss Swanson, who's a middle school teacher. And again, these are all senior lockers here. Again, this is the other side here then of the crossing. And our boys and girls bathrooms for the second floor are right there. And continuing on, before we get to back to the senior balcony, we're going to have two science classrooms here. One on the left will be Mr. C. So if you have Mr. C for Science 9, that's where his classroom would be. And again, it's right by the senior balcony as we came up the stairs. So Mr. C's classroom, again, he's working on getting things ready to go. So right across from Mr. C's classroom will be Mr. Smith. Mr. Smith teaches CITS chemistry along with regular chemistry and chemistry seminar. And so his classroom obviously has lots of labs and lots of lab space involved. So if you have Mr. Smith for chemistry in any way, that's where his classroom would be, right again, near the senior balcony as you come up the stairs on the second floor. One cool thing that we have, Mr. Kiefit, as I said, teaches AV production. And so as you come up the stairs to the senior balcony area, right near that is there's Mr. C and Mr. Smith's classroom, but we also have a TV studio that we are starting to utilize more and more through our Rails TV program. So this studio is designed with a green screen and everything we need to produce what we want to produce. So if you're interested in that, talk to Mr. Kiefit in AV production. Well, as we come out of the TV studio, we're right back to the senior balcony where we started on the second floor. So again, you come down these stairs, you'll be back to kind of by the nurse's office and guidance office, and should be good to go. We have TVs and things set up, so we're kind of making our way back to where the technology director's office is, so we can show you the rest of the second floor. There's the hallway to the middle school. There's some the art rooms and things like that. But down the senior breezeway we go. There's the elevator. The senior breezeway is where we put a lot of different information about our seniors to honor them. But just past the senior breezeway is what we call our district office hallway, where our superintendent and his offices would be. Lights will turn on here in a second. But coming down here, we have quite a few classrooms. Just to the right here is Miss Davis's classroom, who's a middle school teacher. There's the men's bathroom on the second floor in the district office hallway. We also have Miss Otten's classroom to the right. And then to the left down here will be Miss McQuiston's classroom, who's also a high school teacher. Room 205. And if we continue on, we'll notice there's the sensory room behind that door for those students who have sensory needs. And then to the right down here at the end of the hall will be Miss Allen's classroom, Betsy Allen. She's also a high school teacher if you have her. And right here we have our district office, which is where our superintendent and our district office staff are located. And so that kind of rounds out our second floor tour. Now, if you are on the second floor by the district office hallway, there's one more floor to show you, and that is our third floor. So once you go through the senior breezeway and up these stairs, you'll get to the third floor, which does not have any lockers, but has quite a few classrooms for our high school students. So when you come into the third floor, the first rooms are to the left will be, Mr. Edmonds. Mr. Edmonds' classroom. He teaches comp and writing and reading. And then to the right is Mr. Waldorf, who teaches intermediate algebra and pre-algebra 2. So if you have him, he's the first classroom on the right. There's the men's bathroom. And then as we continue down the hall, we'll run into some more classrooms. To the left here, you have Miss Harnell. Jen Harnell teaches geometry. You have her. She is the second classroom on the left as you enter the third floor. And right next to her is Mr. Knight. Mr. Knight teaches English, strategic reading, and some of the other English classes. Across the hall from him is Miss Estep. Miss Estep teaches English 9. And again, she's the second classroom on the right as you come into the third floor. Continuing down the hall, we have another group of 3 classrooms for high school students. Again, no lockers up here, pretty quiet. But to the right here, the third classroom on the right is Mr. Krisha. Mr. Krisha teaches Spanish and German. Again, he's the third classroom on the right. And across the hall from him, there's a workroom there. And across the hall from him would be Mr. Savary. Mr. Savary teaches pre-calc and calc. And right next to him is Mr. Hall, who teaches quite a few English classes like sophomore communications and some other electives for our English department. And then finally, at the end of the hall for our third floor, we have 2 classrooms. There's the women's washroom, by the way. But to the right is Mr. Brook. Mr. Brook teaches business, marketing, accounting, things like that. And then across the hall from him is Mr. Eichers, who teaches CITS Global Geography and also American History 9. So that's the third floor. There you have it. So if you are a student at the end of the day who needs to get from the third floor down to the office area to leave for the day, you'll come down the stairs here. You'll go through past the district office hallway and now through the senior breezeway to the 4-way intersection that has the technology director's office right next to it. See the middle school there. And you'll continue to go down this hall to this first set of stairs. And down these stairs across from the art room. And you will pass as you look back to the breezeway area, and now you'll pass the welding room and the culinary room with the cafeteria on your left. You'll turn the corner and approach the guidance office on your right. And the nurse's office on your right. There's the stairs that go to the senior balcony. And through the doors, you see the hall to the quarry tile, and there are our main entrance doors right there, and the music hallway down to your straight ahead.